The Shaolin monks have always been like a point of mystery, and I don't have a lot of information about them. In fact, I have zero. I have zero information about them. But I've trained martial arts my whole life, and Yes Theory, a YouTube channel that pretty much does stuff. It's a good channel. I like the channel. Anyway, they did Shaolin Kung Fu for 100 hours with the Kung Fu master, Shi Heng Yi. So we're gonna watch it, break down some martial arts, and have some fun.
For 1500 years, the Shaolin Kung Fu monks have roamed in the shadows. Originating from the mountains of China, their training regimens, both mental and physical, consisting of Kung Fu, various forms of what they call hardening training, conditioning, and meditations, is considered one of the most intense and demanding in the world.
You will have some pain you have not had before in this lifetime.
I feel like it's pretty easy to say for most people. You'll have some pain that you've never had before. Let me think, what's a pain that I've probably never had before?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Actually, now I can't think of anything. But for like the average person, you could just like give them two knocks on the head, like a knock on the head on either side. Wow, this is actually much more difficult than I would have thought. Oh, here we go. Like a water balloon thrown at your backside when you're unclothed. Like, you probably haven't had that happen before, and it would maybe hurt, and it would be a pain unlike any other pain. This is such a weird bit.
There is a master in Europe, training and pushing people to their limits. As we explore the boundaries of our own limits, push ourselves beyond what we think is possible, and embracing more discomfort since, well, I guess since we slammed into sumo rikishis.
Wait, how have I not done that video yet? Probably should have done that video. Okay, long story short, Yes Theory does a whole bunch of different stuff. They invited some subscribers, I guess, to join them on this Shaolin journey.
Welcome to our monastery. We are just preparing for a big event where quite a lot of international guests also come, and so
That seems fun.
Ways give them insight, you know.
I think there's a lot of myths, I feel, around Shaolin, and there's a gap there.
It's nice to have some legends, to have some myths, but sometimes if it's too inspiring and it has no relevance, which is like, let's say, grounded to the earth, grounded to the normal person, how can a normal person use all of this knowledge?
That's actually pretty interesting. I feel like I've never heard somebody actually say that, or at least that's connected directly to one of the things that is a legendary martial art. Like, I don't think there's one of them that has more legend to it than Shaolin Kung Fu. So that's pretty cool. I have high hopes for this video. Let's get to some movement.
Although the extent of what we were about to experience wasn't entirely clear when we first arrived.
Ooh, look at him hitting between the legs. Got a little one of those. Zach, you're gonna have to edit this ball so hard. Yeah, that's what that guy just did. I'm pretty sure. I'm not out of breath.
We were going to be put through a series of physical and mental challenges while being blessed with the wisdom of the master. And at the very end, to witness what over 30 years of strength, hardening, and mental...
Oh, wait, hold on. I was not expecting somebody to just straight up teach a 1-2. I don't know, maybe my expectations weren't very high when it comes to combat. No, yeah, this is promising.
I mean, you want to learn and like they make you mop the floor instead. I feel like we're living the stereotype of what happens when you try to learn Kung Fu. They're like, first, you must clean.
I think that's a way of weeding people out, to be honest. Like the Karate Kid movie, like the whole like, yeah, you want to do this? Well, first go shovel this gravel that's seemingly pretty flat already. My guess is that originated as a way for like, if I had 10 students, and I was like, this doesn't really work unless I have 5 students. How do I get rid of some of them? Or maybe like, let's say I have 10 students, and I'm like, I can't physically keep any more people in my dojo. 10 seems like a little amount, but like, that's a lot of people for a small space. I would probably be like, you want to train in Kung Fu? I could really use a fence painted.
Counter moments that are feeling to you like is suffering. And so the ultimate question was, how can we, despite all of these challenges, still find a way to keep this satisfaction about living a life? What is going on in your mind while you are walking through this lifetime?
What's going through my mind right now? I'm hungry, but I shouldn't be. That's probably my first thought, because I just ate. The food wasn't quite tasty enough. Isn't that like a terrible feeling where you're like, It was fine. I'm thinking my shoulder hurts. We had a sumo camp this weekend. I'm thinking, man, I appreciate every single one of the people who subscribes. That's what I was thinking right now. I was thinking, man, anyone who would subscribe to me must be such like a high level human, and I have so much respect for. And that's just what I was thinking off the top of my head. If you wanted to subscribe or anything.
A core part of our message is seek discomfort, which is showing people the value of going towards some of the things that are challenging and exploring why there may be discomfort there. We have an opportunity by being here to learn how to even understand our own message further.
I mean, it makes sense for them to do a video together 100%. I feel like the Shaolin monks training is almost more discomfortable than any other type of training.
Which is why I'm very happy to introduce today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
Oh my gosh. They're doing a freaking sponsored bit, man. That's crazy. Those guys are sellouts. This is preposterous. I wouldn't possibly stand for this. Bunch of jabronis these guys are. Anyway, this video is not brought to you by Hayabusa, but I actually just got a new coupon code, so you guys can get 10% off. They didn't pay for this video. These gloves are honestly fantastic. They're the best gloves on the market in my opinion. They look so good and so fresh and so clean, and they have some of the best stability. They've got double wraps. They're fantastic gloves. Again, it's not paid for. I get a kickback. You guys get 10% off. It's a win-win. Oh, their ad rate's up. Gosh, finally. Okay, so they do a bunch of stuff about meditation. I can appreciate the meditation. In my opinion, I think this video that I am making, guys, I don't want to spoil everything. Go watch their video if you want to watch it. I think it's fantastic. You guys go watch that. We're going to talk about the martial arts that's happening here outside of the meditation. Ooh, a little push-ups. Ooh, a little knuckle push-ups.
It's not just one side. It's both. And one.
Okay, immediately the first thing we hear from this guy that teaches the 1-2 is that you can't just throw a punch with one side of your body. 100%, you gotta lay that thing out there, pull the other side back if you really want to get longer, stronger punches. This is good to hear. I like this. Boom, boom, okay? They're not listening about that part. Ooh, a little outside crescent kicks. Boom, little teeps. Oi! Dragon Tail Sweep. Wow, they really threw him right into the mix of it. Dragon Tail Sweep just started, I mean, maybe this is like day 2 and we don't know it. But so far they did teeps, which is arguably the first kick you should learn. Looked like they were doing crescent kicks. And then they did Dragon Tail Sweep. That's crazy. Oi. What would we fix here? We don't have a lot to go based off of, but what I would fix immediately is I would turn this hand over. I mean, you could call it like a Wing Chun vertical punch. 1, stop smiling. This is supposed to be discomfortable. This hand is not high. We would love to have this up here for a beginner. This elbow could be up and turned over, so it's not like this. It's boom, right? Boom. Let's see how it goes. And then this hand drops down. At least he's throwing both punches at the same time. When I say both punches at the same time, he's pulling one of them back while he's taking the other one forwards. He's not going and making them 2 separate punches. It's a piece of a combo. We like that. Stop smiling. Ooh, not a bad kick.
Spent many, many years dealing with the body, kind of training
Ooh,
the body.
ooh, these, ooh. Oh geez. Okay, kicks are definitely a lot harder for most people than punches. What's hard about this kick? This was his back leg. This hip is forwards. We like to see a lot more rotation. He's pretty much kicking straight up, which isn't the wrong answer, but you would want to rotate it at the end. It's actually pretty common for some people to teach a kick that comes up and then rotates over at the end. So even though the kick kind of comes like this, it then turns in at the last second, boom, and adds that bit of torque. If I just kick up, there's not a lot of targets on the body that are, whenever you kick up, you want to kick something at the opposite angle. So if I'm kicking this way, I want to ideally hit something that's this way, perpendicular. If I kick up, there's not a lot of like pieces of the body that are like a direct this angle. Now, kicking this way, there's plenty of lines that we have that are up and down, that are in the cross section of that. But kicking up, there's not a lot of targets to hit. There's the downstairs mix-up, and like maybe the armpit, sometimes the chin, and that's about it. That's okay, all these guys are obviously beginners, and they're simply seeking discomfort.
So breathe, meditate.
Well, that guy set up the camera. He turned them into cows. That's interesting. What are they working on? Oh, that's brutal. Nothing like doing a whole bunch of calisthenic push-up stuff in the sand. Just, it looked like a very hard workout. It definitely looked discomfortable. Oh, hardening training. This should be good.
I first learned.
Adobe! I told you no ads in this video.
This is where it comes to the conditioning training. And now the question to you is if you want to go through this conditioning training or not. I would say it takes maximum 20 minutes.
Obviously, he's not going to say no, right? They're not going to say no. That's the whole point of this channel, is that they don't say no to things. It's yes theory, not, it sounds dangerous theory.
You will have some pain you have not had before in this lifetime.
Well, okay, for these people, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go through some of this myself, shall we? While we're watching. This is a piece of furniture. It's a piece of furniture.
If you say yes now, you go through the 20 minutes. No matter what.
Ooh, interesting.
That's the deal.
He put him on the spot. He said, listen, you're either doing this or you're not. Don't poop with the door open if it's only a little open. You better swing that thing all the way through. You better have that bad boy wide open if you're going to poop out in public. I don't know. What is this? Oh, you're not going to die? Did he say what it is? He said body hardening, right? Look, here's the thing about YouTube. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to hurt you, okay? It'll stink a little bit, but this guy doesn't want to look like somebody who hurts people when they show up to his school. If he's willing to do this, that means he's willing to show off what he's doing, not in a dangerous way. He's going to be fine.
Start with your left arm. So the right hand just holds this first, and with the left arm, one bone. Yeah. From here you go.
Black Betty, blam blam, whoa, Black Betty, blam blam, Black Betty out of chop, blam blam, the dang ain't going wild, blam blam, she's so out of mind, blam blam, oh, he's going faster. Oh, I wonder if that's because of the 36th chamber. 36 is a very specific number. I'm not trying to make fun of this, by the way. I'm actually just, I can't hear the audio, so.
Left arm, then the same right.
So body conditioning is interesting because, like, you can choose to not hit the thing that hard. You can choose to go be really nice to yourself. There's like a weird place that your brain takes you to that's just hard enough to like make a sound, but early on your brain's not trying to like harm your body. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense for your brain to be like, okay, let's use our muscles and hit this thing. You know what I mean? This is very interesting. They're probably making some noises I should hear. I've always been very curious on what science looks like when you do this bone conditioning. I've done plenty of it. Like, I want to hear a doctor say, microfractures cause the bone to grow back bigger and stronger. I want to hear that. If you were to tell me this is for mental toughness, I'd be like, yeah, no, I 100% believe that. If you were to tell me this is for nerve deadening, I think I would believe that before the microfractures. I'm just not totally sold on it. I think that hitting the heavy bag, depending on the density of the bag, I think that is kind of the same thing to a much less intense degree. I will admit though, when I do things and my shins clash with people or my forearms clash with people, I feel like I usually don't take the worst of it. Does that make sense? Because of this kind of stuff. So I don't know, like maybe your brain just gets used to it. I don't know. Ooh, they're knocking. Also, you can kind of hear when sometimes it's muscle that's hitting. I'm sure the monk is always hitting with the bone, and I'm sure this guy is sometimes hitting with muscle and sometimes hitting with bone. Neither of them feel great. Bone definitely feels worse. And they got 36 of these? Golly. Oh, 10, okay.
Want to spend more time customizing every—
I want to spend less time watching ads. Unless you guys want to sponsor the channel, then that'd be a different story. Ooh.
So that means 18 times right side, 18 times left side.
That's the 36. I think this guy did a video with Jesse. Shaolin 36. Yeah, so the 36th chamber of Shaolin, was that just a movie? Or is that... Comment below. I actually am not sure about the 36 thing. If there's relevance past the movie, I'd be very interested to know that.
While the pain comes, figure out a way. What can you still do? Everything is allowed except for giving up.
I like that. That's cool. If you made him do the exact same intensity, his arm actually might fall off. That's not true. But he would be very deterred to come back the next day if he didn't feel like, okay, on my first day, I was pushed to my absolute limit. My limit's only going to get higher, which means I'm only going to have to do more. You know that hurts. If you want to feel this a little bit, just for a second, don't be dumb. Take your knuckles and rub the bone. Just to kind of get an idea of how that might suck, okay? Same thing with the shin. Take that knuckle. I mean, I'm pretty sturdy at this point. It doesn't feel good, especially if you go in the same spot for a long time. It doesn't feel great. Like, what these people are feeling right now, I don't think he's being too exaggerative.
Drink something, relax, and think about what happened.
A dude wants to drink some booze. He wants to numb the pain.
I'm not okay. Push through it all, man.
He's like, I know. That's why I'm upset and over here on the floor, is because I pushed through it. Actually, what's kind of interesting is that going through this, if he doesn't continue to do this, there's no physical benefit. Mentally, he has the advantage of being like, I can push through pain. That's good.
What he said at the beginning, okay, if you start, you have to finish, was so necessary. Because otherwise, I don't think any single one of us would have finished if we had the option to get out.
Weenie! I'm just kidding. Day 3.
The entire time we were there. After spending
Hey, wait a minute. Are the monks allowed to use lawnmowers? This sounds silly. Are monks allowed to use lawnmowers? There is no good answer if monks are allowed to use lawnmowers or not. I would be hyped to go to this event. I'd be so down. What the monks do is so fantastical and like the impressiveness of it. They are one of the coolest demonstration martial arts, which is so interesting because so much of what they do is like for the sake of internal betterment, but their demonstrations are so like mind-blowing that at some point in order to get good at that, don't you have to tailor the martial art for the demonstration? I'm not crapping on Shaolin monk training here. I'm looking at it from an outside perspective. There's probably a lot of context I don't have. Little forms work. Whoa. Oh, the rings. Wonder how heavy those are. Moving your body like this is so impressive. It's so much harder than you would think. So much harder than you would think. That's easier than you'd think, actually. But that's just this one move. I have no idea what else they're up to.
with Kung Fu demonstrations out of the way, it was now time for the main event.
Breaking glass with it. Oh, look. It's another ad. How many ads have been in... Zach, how many ads have I seen in this video so far? Sorry? Excuse me? Huh? He threw a needle through glass. Why? I don't know why the balloon's there. The fact that he shattered the glass is what's crazy about all this. If you threw a needle hard enough to shatter glass, I would imagine it would break the balloon. But the glass itself is the crazy part, no? Am I mistaken? Am I missing the... Ooh. 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 I would try that. If they asked me to come try the breaking stuff on me, I would love to try that. Maybe, like, I would love to see how difficult that is. Bricks, I feel like we have a better idea of how hard bricks are. Same thing with this. I would love... Don't try this at home. Why'd they say don't try this at home for the other stuff, but not for this? Not important. I mean, he's got some honking knuckles on him. Those things are not small. It's definitely fast. Oh, with an... Ow. That probably wouldn't feel good.
Times when any film crew or something comes to us, they always want to see the acrobatic, the flying, the explosive, the attractive things for the eye. And for us, we always say it just demonstrates nothing. What is really the difficult part is when you would have to film every day the same stuff. Because it is standing for repetition. Every day you make the same boring stuff. And this is the reason why you are then attaining insight. Because in order to get insight, to look deeper into something, you must spend more time with that thing.
Alright, that's pretty cool. I'm sure he goes on to speak a bit more about it, which you should watch this video if you'd like to learn more about that. But that was pretty cool. I enjoyed watching that. Thanks, Yes Theory. If you want some Hayabusa gloves, code SenseiSeth10, get you 10% off right now. They've got some sick neon stuff that just came out. It looks like this. Like if that was a boxing glove, that's those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe or I'll freaking headbutt you. That's a new one. You haven't heard that one yet.